Hello and welcome to another episode of New Gameplay Today. I'm your host Jeff Cork, joined today by intern Blake. What have we become?
That's me.
It's him.
I appreciate it. I appreciate being invited.
And then it gets better though. Don't worry. Imran.
If Blake is an intern, am I technically an extern?
You're an extern, exactly. And then you're not gonna believe this. It's Leo Vader.
Outturn. Now,
this seems fairly self-evident, but Imran, what are we looking at here?
We are looking at Borderlands 3, and this is the opening tutorial level that people have seen 1,000 times.
Perfect.
But this time it's the different hunter.
Okay. So,
you're playing as Flak.
I am playing as Flak, yes.
Master.
There you go.
now, are we going to adhere to their naming conventions and use the number 4 when writing out Flak's name?
I have.
You have been doing that?
I haven't been told not to do it yet.
Interesting.
I am fine with doing that with writing. I am not at all... Okay, I'm not going to say FL4K or whatever that would be.
I will say early here that if you're already annoyed by us talking over the enemy grunts, we have no commentary gameplay on the site, linked in the description. Just go check out GameInformer.com. Or if you're already there, hello, welcome.
Yeah. we should just do that ourselves right now.
Great.
All right. No, I'm just teasing. We're obligated to talk over this stuff. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, I took like 4 hours of footage or something like that we're putting up without commentary. Which it's great.
Yeah.
It's perfect. You'll see nothing wrong with it, nothing to complain about at all.
Perfect.
Yeah. But you're missing out the
watch that.
insightful commentary that we've provided thus far.
Which will start now.
All right, so you skipped ahead a little bit. How far are you in here, if you remember?
This is I want to say about an hour into the game, maybe a little bit less. I have my actual action command, which is that big dog you just saw.
Yes.
So Flak's thing is he's a hunter or beastmaster, so he can summon various animals to help him fight. So you're gonna have to forgive me because I do not remember any of Borderlands' dumb names for animals.
Oh my lord!
I think I got this. I just wrote the trailer thing, so I think I can help you out here.
Yes.
He's got this skag. That was the dog thing.
Yes.
Nice.
That is a spider ant, which is a very creative name, may I say.
Yeah, they've done it again.
But they all have different skills and different action things. So the spider ant will run around shooting poison at things.
Nice.
And you can combine your own skills with them. So a radiation bomb will teleport monsters where you want them to be, and also power them up.
Cool.
So basically, he seems kind of unfair in a way. I'm kind of curious how he's balanced with co-op. Because 4 Flaks seem like they would just have 4 extra animals running around.
That'd be interesting.
That sounds absolutely perfect. As a person who heads toward zookeeper classes and necromancers, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Gage in Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
But she was also post-launch, so who cared about balance at that point?
Yeah. And let's be honest, that robot was kind of dumb looking.
What? Oh.
What? There's also a robot in this game.
Yeah. I don't think it looks as cool as a spider ant or a skag is all I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
See?
Yeah. The third animal, which we haven't gotten to the footage yet, but it's a Jabber, which is the name I actually remember. It's short, not stupid.
Of course, a play on Jabberjaw.
Yes.
Talking shark.
So Blake...
Everyone knows that reference.
Of course. We can tell by Blake's indignation that he's a big Borderlands fan.
Yeah, I've played the series once or twice.
Are you hyped for this?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I'm playing through Borderlands 2 for the 5th time right now to get ready for the third.
5 times? Wow. Are you playing with friends, or is it
Yeah. I just got the Handsome Jack collection since it was free on PSN, so I'm playing through some of the characters that I've never played before. So I am playing as Gage in my playthrough right now. So you probably have an attachment to that robot.
You probably have a lot of super smart questions in, Blake, right?
I do. I have a ton of super smart questions.
Please help, because we're dying here.
That's the first footage I've seen of you can jack vehicles now. Is that? I don't think you can do that in the other games. Is that new to this one?
So since enemies have their own vehicles, you'll see them just kind of wandering around the open world. I don't know if they're set spawn points or they just happen to be in certain areas. It's a lot easier than having to go all the way back to another car spawning spot.
So you're a melee spec car combat guy, right?
Pretty much. And you can customize the cars. I don't remember if that was in Borderlands 2, but you can add different kinds of weapons.
I think they just had different classes of cars, and you can change. You can only change like skins on the cars in the first games.
Yeah, it was the skins were like olive green or mud green.
Yeah.
You're like, wait a second.
Do you want tan to be maroon?
Okay. That was one of the things, like, I was looking through, like, the various skins and emoticons and not emoticons. What's the word you want to use for those? When they're
surprise mechanics.
Right. Surprise mechanic. This game has no DLC. I've been assured.
Yes.
But I was looking through those. There's a pretty hefty amount of things you can unlock for your character in this game.
Mm-hmm. So you played this at a preview before, Imran.
Yes.
Also for a few hours.
I think I've gone through the beginning of this game 3 times now.
Wow. What stuck out to you this time? Was there anything new?
So playing as Flak is cool, and like, because he's the most different of all the Vault Hunters at the beginning, because he's not very traditionally focused like the rest of them. Other than that, I ended up avoiding a lot of side quests because it's that thing of, oh, I'm gonna play this with friends soon, so they're gonna want to do side quests. Should I do a lot of these?
Sure.
But they have a lot more dialogue and personality, so the ones I did do were more interesting. They've written them out better, and they fleshed them out in a better way.
That's exciting.
Right.
Oh, there's the Jabber.
So the Jabber actually has a pretty interesting, like, special skill that whoever you sick him on, and you can do that by, like, going up to an enemy and, like, holding down the animal button like that. He will throw a radioactive barrel at them, like Donkey Kong.
Nice. That's awesome.
And if you kill the person while they're radioactive, they explode and they do damage to everyone around them.
Oh, that's cool. Now, are those kind of like built-in archetypes for each of those animal types, or is it something in the skill tree you could be like, okay, now he's gonna be like fire-based instead of radioactivity if I put points here?
I did not see that much variation, but like also part of the skill tree is hidden.
Okay.
So, like, I can bet based on what I've seen from other, because there's a part later in the game where I get a more advanced character, and I could play a lot more with their skill tree. So based on what she was able to do, I could guess that there's going to be a lot more opening up with flex animals at some point.
Okay.
Otherwise, it would end pretty quickly in terms of like variety of things you can do.
And there is not an element of taming creatures with Flak, right? It is just he just has these creatures on his side and summons them, right?
As far as I know,
Okay.
I want to say I saw the word tame somewhere, but I cannot think of like in what respect it would be. But I think it is just these three. They're basically loadouts.
Okay.
I noticed the little guys are now called tinks in this one.
They're not dropping the M word.
Right.
Anymore.
Which is like good, I guess, but there's really no difference besides just that one name thing. They're still like their comedy relief. Like there was the shotgun tink at one point that he will blast you with a shotgun and then fall over because he's tiny.
Right. Just some tiny humor.
Comedy.
Yeah.
It's another boss here.
Yep. This is the, I guess, first boss after the tutorial boss, and actually surprisingly different. Like I've done this fight a couple of times, but each time I've had prepared characters. So this time I went in straight from the beginning, and that's the level of puns you can expect from the. Yeah. But
Moderate.
this was not straight at the beginning, and he's not super easy. Granted, I wasn't also paying that much attention. Because I was kind of like looking around, like, oh, I wonder what the rest of this boss fight looks like. I wonder how the mechanics work.
They had like cool posters on the walls and stuff in the event you were distracted by, or maybe? I'm trying to help you out here, buddy.
I think I was looking at Flak's skill tree, and I think so you can summon the 3 main animals, but there's also an element to the skill tree where you can summon in racks, those flying birds
I
too.
think I did that in one of the earlier footage. Like I think I might have just passed that commentary, but it's basically his like, what do you call it? His action skill attack.
Sure. Okay.
You just aim at something and you summon racks, and it like makes them explode usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
I hope that your racks are as annoying to them as they are to you.
Absolutely. Payback.
Absolutely. What you just said.
I remember them being not great, and there's like, I think I played a siren in Borderlands 2, so I had that one skill that would just, you could aim at something no matter how far away and just press F and they would just die. And that was basically my anti-rack weapon.
That's probably what I remember most about the first Borderlands. Is a
How
mission where you
annoying
to kill
those-
a million of those or something.
Those racks were.
Is this guy deflecting your bullets back at you, or is he shooting bullets out of his shield?
I did not notice bullets reflecting.
Okay, yeah, it seems like there's
Yeah, he's
sound
shooting
waves
bullets
coming
with,
at you.
side gun there.
And there's a lot of
I-
immunities coming up too on this. Is that there isn't really a way to tell that without trial and error, right?
When the way I figured it out is when he was like walking back and doing his like wrestler walk to the middle of the stage to like reset, so you're not just. So I guess the boss fight can presumably break really bad,
I see.
and the way they fix that is at certain damage thresholds he just resets and goes to the center of the stage. So the immunity is the way to handle that for them.
Got it.
But his whole thing is he is a hype man for the twins who are. They keep referring to them as social media a-holes.
Oh, I wonder where they got the inspiration for that type of character.
But I asked the narrative designers, like, hey, what is with the chip on your shoulder about streamers? Like, there's no real chip on our shoulder. It's just that this is what streaming is now. It's being that bombastic and kind of controlling a whole bunch of influence without even necessarily realizing it. And
Right.
this is kind of their idea of like, oh, if you did realize it, this is what would happen.
Interesting.
And in the post-apocalypse, influencers will rule the world. You
Yeah.
know? When society
I like
crumbles.
the idea that in the post-apocalypse that streamers can reach an audience.
Yeah.
Zero was the first ninja. Just saying.
He also, I think, signed a Mixer exclusive.
So this could be. It's been a while since I played Borderlands. When you were in your like second win fight for life thing, were you mobile? Like, could you move around, or were you kind of like stuck?
You can move around a little bit. You
Okay.
were not at full speed. I want to say it's like quarter speed.
Okay, because you seem like you're moving around at a pretty steady clip. The few
Yeah,
times
like,
you've died.
I think that's why they fill these boss fights with ads as well.
Yeah.
Is like you need a second wind option because I guarantee you, hit detection in Borderlands games not great. And how should I put this? Being able to tell when you're being damaged in Borderlands games is not great.
Okay, sure.
Sure.
Like when you get blasted back, like, oh, I took some damage, but unless you're actively looking at the helm, it's rare that you can notice that. I noticed on multiple skill trees, there's always a thing of, yeah, you just recover HP now. Like, here's that skill. So I imagine they want people to go towards that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
They have lots of generous mechanics like that. It definitely speaks to them wanting to just make a loot game that's fun to play, not one that you're supposed to play forever and do raids and be super challenged by necessarily.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, this is the game where they've added in this game that people can pick you up. So that includes your, like, the rest of your friends and hunting party, and also NPCs. So not in this mission, but in other missions, if you have an NPC with you, they can just revive you when you die. Or not die, but when you're down and out.
Okay.
Big help.
Cool.
I see why that was a thing that they wanted to add.
It's weird to me, like, when they announced it, I was like, was that not in previous games?
Yeah, it was. It's one of those things where you think it should have been, and when you look back, you realize, oh yeah, I guess it wasn't there.
Right. So maybe this is obvious, but are you controlling the position of your pet at all, or just when it's attacking?
Just when it's attacking. So, like, when you see that little yellow claw mark above the enemy's head, that is me telling, or giving it a target, basically.
Right.
Otherwise, it just acts on its own.
Okay.
I like when it threw the barrel from behind. That was a good use of positioning there.
It's kind of annoying because, like, he does that strut. I'm not randomly, because I'm sure there's a damage threshold that does it, but I will stick Jabber on him, and then do that attack. But it's like, oh, well, it took 3 seconds for that attack, and in that 3 seconds, he started doing his, immune pose.
Yeah.
So that was just completely wasted.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
You're a hero, by the way, Imran.
It's nice to
I
know that
leveled up.
dubstep survived the end of the world.
Yeah.
And that is one of those things where, like, oh, well, the enemy died while I was kind of off screen doing something else.
Yeah.
So that's Vaughn from Tales from the Borderlands.
Oh.
Yes.
Tales from the Borderlands kind of ended Hyperion, and I was going to ask, is Hyperion, is that still the Revive station? Is it Hyperion brand? Did you see that?
Yeah, so it was another demo where you go and, like, you're basically interacting with Reese to help save Hyperion from an attack from one of the rival companies.
Okay, got it.
So like that is you go to Hyperion's home planet, and there's a whole set of missions there. So they still exist. They didn't directly say it, from what I gathered from like this mission and other missions, it seems like you interact with every gun manufacturer in the game.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So like Jacobs, I think, is long gone, but you kind of figured it out. This mission, and why there's such a bad filter over it, is that there was a head I picked up earlier, and you're kind of going into that game's VR mode, or that the not a real VR mode, an in-game VR mode, and they make jokes about Borderlands 2 VR, and those are grown, but basically they're reusing the dungeon I just went through, but putting a filter over it.
A really cool filter.
Yeah, great one.
Yes. I don't know if it gets worse as I go into the dungeon, or I just started noticing it more, but it becomes actually quite hard to play the game.
Yeah. Are there any Borderlands 2 on Vita jokes?
Not that I noticed. But also, I don't think anyone remembers Borderlands 2 on Vita.
I remember it coming out and having 3 enemies on screen at a time. At max, I believe, was the limit. That poor system. Deserved better.
But yeah, this is not a side quest I enjoyed.
No.
I kind of went through because I'm like, okay, I'm already in deep in this thing, and also I don't know how to leave.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep doing this one. This one is more of the narrative quest from like this is you show up at a place and enemies start flooding in.
Quite the gun.
And like they're actually kind of fun because it gives me a chance to experiment with the guns in a way experiment with guns and skills I've been learning along the way.
Yeah, what's going on with that gun?
A lot.
That I believe it is a sniper assault rifle.
Okay.
But it doesn't reload, it just overheats.
Oh, interesting.
It's an assault rifle that takes sniper ammo.
I'm not sure, honestly. I'm not sure which ammo it looks like it just takes assault rifle ammo, but it zooms in quite well and does like good critical hit damage.
Yeah, the little icon there is of an assault rifle, it looks like.
Sure.
Yeah. So, like, for example, here, well, Lilith joins you, which is not uncommon in these battles. You'll get someone to join you. If I were to go down and she were next to me and were not distracted by another enemy, she would pick me up.
Help.
I like that guy dying midair and falling out of the sky.
I like that. I like the idea that enemies can jump over things and navigate terrain better.
Yeah.
Like, especially in a game about guns, having an enemy that's just stuck on the other side of an area, that seems... They've done a better job of trying to make this a good shooter.
Yeah, was the AI interesting to fight, do you think?
It's still basically this of them just rushing at you. When I played the game in another demo, they had stronger enemies that are more interesting and like tend to focus on you or tend to figure out better ways to deal with multiple hunters at once. So like they would have AoE attacks if they were dealing with more players than just one.
Sure.
And I'm assuming since you're going to all sorts of different planets, there are lots of new enemy types as well.
Yeah, so mostly I saw monsters that are new, but like every time I've done a new mission, or new planet with a new mission, I've seen a different kind of enemy than just the basic psychos. Okay. Like they will still put the psychos in there. They're not going to get rid of their, I guess, bread and butter marketing on this stuff, but they tend to vary it up a little bit better.
Okay.
So in this section, they have just, in story-wise, there was this like the end of, I guess, the prologue kind of thing, where the enemy sirens have stolen Lilith's powers. And she is now no longer a siren, she is just the commander of this army. And you were kind of like, you came here to defend her as quickly as possible. So this is like one of the story missions that actually has a sense of urgency. I'm not sure if she could actually die if you don't get there fast enough, but they really do rush you to get there as quickly as possible.
So I noticed you were switching guns out when Leo's doing these edits at a fairly regular pace. Is that because you wanted to get a lot of variety in there, or was it a situation where the guns would become obsolete fairly quickly?
It was mostly it was variety, but also like when you look at a gun, it will show you the numbers in comparison to the gun you're currently holding. So every time I look at numbers, like, oh, those numbers are green, I'm just gonna switch out.
Yeah.
Like I care less how it feels right now and more like damage better. Okay.
Oh,
so yeah, you can get like, emotes was the word I was looking for. For some reason, not remember. But you can shop here for like all the emotes and skins and various heads and stuff like that.
So this Iridium is something that you're getting through gameplay. You aren't buying it?
And also opening like chests and all that.
Okay.
Have they said, I know there's going to be some kind of cosmetic purchasables. Have they said if you're buying directly or just buying that currency?
They have not said, and I think after that last dust up about it, they're not going to say until that game comes out. But I think it's probably going to end up being like Borderlands 2 had packs of skins and stuff like that. So I'd imagine it's that similar thing. This is a mission further deep in, and I am playing as Mose at this point, who is the mech character.
Okay.
So she is. They didn't give me context for the story. They just loaded up a save, but basically you're looking for parts of the vault key or vault map or something like that, and you track it down to this abandoned Jacob ship. And when you land, you get in contact with somebody who's apparently on the ship, which is strange because it's quite old. And I'm like, this is Balex. I'm like, he sounds super familiar, and I cannot place him exactly. So I turn around to someone from 2K who was working there, and I was like, is this Ice-T? He's like, yeah, that's Ice-T.
All right.
Like, very matter-of-factly, like, yeah, of course it's Ice-T. Who else would it be?
Yeah.
So, star of stage and screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got any other stupid questions?
Let's listen to him real quick, just to get a sense of.
Wainwright Jacob sent me.
Oh, you with Wainwright. Okay, alright. Yeah, I'll show you where the family jewel is. It's in a gorge nearby. I can get you inside.
Yeah, that was a really dumb question, Imran.
So once I kind of wish they didn't confirm it, because once they did confirm it was Ice-T, every time he talked, I kept thinking of that one E3 conference, or I want to say Gears 3, where he couldn't say Horde mode.
Oh,
He's
no.
saying Horde mode. I want to say like 3 times. But yeah, he does a pretty decent performance. He plays a navigational ship AI that was jilted by his equally AI lover,
Okay.
and they broke up, and she put him into a teddy bear.
I like that.
Ouch.
That's good
Which
casting.
is also an episode of Futurama for the most part, but whatever, there's only so many original ideas.
Yeah.
True.
But at some point, you also put Balex, the teddy bear, into another mech suit, so he joins you and can lift you up, and like he basically, I think they wanted to balance this game around multiple hunters, but there's no way to do that if you're also playing single player. So they gave you mission NPCs fairly often.
Okay. I prefer
So-
that to just AI companions playing the other hunters.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the enemy AI. That's Genevieve. She has taken over one of the mechs. Balex has also taken over a mech, but he got lost along the way here because he doesn't know how to control the mech yet. So you have to get here on your own and kind of start this battle. And basically, it is a Macross mech, pretty much.
Okay.
And like, this is actually a fairly cool boss fight because I don't know. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I like anime stuff. So like a cool mech that's like zooming around while I'm shooting at it, and also in my own mech, so I made a good choice of hunter here.
Yeah.
This is
It's
exciting.
like it's a fun thing to do.
I like this boss. I got kind of nervous with all of that pre-footage that they were showing because the first boss of the game seemed to be a psycho, and I got a little apprehensive about where they were taking the bosses. But this looks awesome.
Yeah, they've said that they're more conscious about boss fights, especially after all the criticism on Borderlands 1 and 2. One, I think, was especially bad about it because like every boss could be solved by standing in one specific place and just shooting. So this one, like, it seems like it's literally designed to keep you from doing that. Because if you stand in one place, you will get killed.
There's a lot of stuff flying around the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is also like second wind options and stuff like that. But she can shoot out little lasers that like have their own, what do you call it? Own turrets that fly around. There's also smaller mechs that are wandering around. I was thinking about this while playing this game, but if you're playing with a group of friends, you could easily say like, you keep watch for these things, I'll keep watch for these things, and I'll, DPS on the boss. So there's more strategy involved in that, which is, as somebody that likes to play Borderlands with friends, I'm excited about.
Yeah, for sure. I wonder why they didn't have you playing with other people at this event.
They offered co-op, but the people next to me were from like a Spanish outlet that did not speak English. And I'm like, this probably is not going to be a great experience for either of us.
Gun violence transcends language, Imran.
The strategy aspect of it isn't great. I like so in terms of like new weapons, she has a grenade that if you could toss, it like drops a like flame spinner. So like if you're aiming for DPS, you could absolutely make like your entire loadout very oriented towards that. And like you can choose on your mech different arm, like a left-right arm and a right arm. So like my right arm is a big claw punch, and the left arm I think is a minigun. So as you go down the skill tree, you can add more and more to that and exchange out the weapons, and it's a surprisingly cool way to vary up your weapon load.
Nice.
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
This is out pretty soon, right?
This is out in mid-September.
Mid-September. All right. Well, Imran, thank you for doing so well and not making us look like a bunch of assholes. We always appreciate it. And thank you, intern Blake.
Thank you for having me on this episode.
Absolutely. And you also made us sound so much smarter.
Well, that's why you brought me in.
And once again, more footage on our site, GameInformer.com.
Yeah, like 4 hours of it?
Apparently.
That's ridiculous.
So there's a preview, I think.
All right. Very cool. Thanks. Bye. Ha ha ha. What a fantastic episode of New Gameplay today. Come back every week for fun, informational looks at new releases and early previews of unreleased games. Ha ha ha. Stay subscribed and I guarantee there will be an episode about Cyberpunk 2077 at some point down the line.